We all live as if we have an infinite supply of tomorrows. We wake up, we follow the rules, and we chase the shadows of other people's expectations. We call it living, but deep down, in the quiet moments of the night, we know something is missing. On a sunny day in June 2005, a man who had reached the pinnacle of global success stood before a crowd of elite graduates. Steve Jobs didn't talk about profit margins, stock prices, or the next iPhone. He talked about the raw, unvarnished truth of the human condition. He talked about the 3 stories that defined his existence and the 3 lessons that could save yours. He talked about why you must stop wasting the one thing you can never buy back: your time. This is a deep dive into the most powerful message ever delivered to the human spirit. His first story begins with a failure. He dropped out of Reed College after just 6 months. I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life and no idea how college was going to help me figure it out. He was spending all of his parents' life savings on a tuition he didn't value. So he dropped out, trusting that it would all work out. It was pretty scary at the time, but looking back, it was one of the best decisions he ever made. He slept on the floors of friends' rooms and returned Coke bottles for 5-cent deposits just to buy food. Every Sunday night, he walked 7 miles across town just to get one good meal at the Hare Krishna temple. He loved it. To the outside world, he was a college dropout with no future. But dropping out allowed him to drop in on things that actually sparked his curiosity. He decided to take a calligraphy class because he loved the beauty of the posters on campus. I learned about serif and sans serif typefaces, about varying the amount of space between different letter combinations, about what makes great typography great. At the time, it had no practical application in his life. None at all. But 10 years later, when he was designing the first Macintosh computer, it all came back. The multiple typefaces and the proportionally spaced fonts were all born from that one useless class. If he had never dropped in on that single course, the Mac would have never had multiple typefaces. And since Windows just copied the Mac, it's likely that no personal computer would have them. Here is the massive motivational truth. You cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward. Most people are paralyzed because they can't see the whole staircase. They want a guarantee that their current struggle will lead to a specific prize. But life doesn't work that way. You have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You must trust in your gut, your destiny, your life, or your karma. This approach will never let you down. It is the difference between a common life and a legendary one. If you are struggling right now, if you are working a job that feels random or studying something that feels useless, remember, your current struggle is a dot that hasn't found its connection yet. Every skill you learn, every person you meet, and every failure you endure is a dot being placed on the canvas of your life. Keep walking. Keep learning. The dots are waiting for you at the finish line. His second story is about the most devastating moment of his career: love and loss. I was lucky. I found what I loved to do early in life. Woz and I started Apple in my parents' garage when I was 20. In 10 years, Apple had grown from just 2 of them in a garage into a $2 billion company with over 4,000 employees. But then, at age 30, Steve Jobs was fired from Apple. The very company he started, the very dream he nurtured, had kicked him to the curb. What had been the focus of my entire adult life was gone, and it was devastating. He was a public failure. He felt he had let the previous generation of entrepreneurs down. He thought about running away from Silicon Valley forever. But then, a slow realization began to dawn on him. I still loved what I did. The turn of events at Apple had not changed that one bit. He had been rejected, but he was still in love. Being fired was actually the best thing that could have happened to him. The heaviness of being successful was replaced by the lightness of being a beginner again. It freed me to enter one of the most creative periods of my life. During the next 5 years, he started Next and Pixar, creating the world's first computer-animated feature film, Toy Story. He fell in love with an amazing woman who would become his wife. Eventually, in a remarkable turn of events, Apple bought Next, and Jobs returned to save the company he once lost. Sometimes life hits you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith. I'm convinced that the only thing that kept me going was that I loved what I did. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Do not settle. Like all matters of the heart, you will know when you find it. Your setback is not a wall. It is a redirection to something far greater than you could have planned. His third story is about the ultimate reality: death. Jobs was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer and told he had only months to live. He lived with that diagnosis all day, preparing to say goodbye to his family. Later that evening, a biopsy showed it was a rare form of pancreatic cancer that was curable with surgery. He had the surgery and was fine, but he had looked into the eyes of the Reaper. He looked into the mirror every morning and asked himself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I am about to do today? Whenever the answer was no for too many days in a row, he knew he needed to change something. Remembering that I'll be dead soon is the most important tool I've ever encountered to help me make the big choices in life, because almost everything, pride, fear of embarrassment, fear of failure, falls away in the face of death. It leaves only what is truly important. Remembering that you are going to die is the best way to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. You are already naked. There is no reason not to follow your heart. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Jobs issued a warning that everyone needs to hear today. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. Most people are living second-hand lives. They choose careers based on what looks good on a resume. They stay in relationships because they are afraid of being alone. They follow trends because the internet told them it was the right path. But your heart and intuition already know what you truly want to become. Have the courage to listen to that voice, even when it's a whisper in a room full of shouting critics. Everything else, money, fame, security, is secondary to your own authenticity. As he concluded his address, he shared his parting wish. It was a message he found on the back of a magazine called The Whole Earth Catalog in the 1970s. It was their farewell message as they signed off for the last time. Stay hungry, stay foolish. And he wished that for the graduates. And he wishes that for you. To stay hungry means to never be satisfied with good enough. It means to always seek more knowledge, more growth, and higher peaks of excellence. It is the refusal to become stagnant or complacent in your comfort zone. To stay foolish means to be willing to take the risks that others call crazy. It means being bold enough to follow a dream that others cannot see. It means having the folly to believe you can change the world when everyone else says it's impossible. Steve Jobs is gone, but his dots connected to change the entire landscape of human history. Now, the pen is in your hand. Don't waste your limited time living a life that isn't yours. Trust the dots. Love the work. Face the mirror. Stay hungry. Stay foolish. The world is waiting for your dots to connect.